Hello, and welcome back to another featured company update here at the Investors Coliseum. In today's update, we will be hearing from Solar Alliance on the recent closing of their fast and very successful $5.7 million raise. And who better here to provide us with some insight and some further details on this raise than Solar Alliance's Chief Executive Officer, Myke Clark. Myke, always great to see you. Great to have you back.
Hey, Chris, good to see you as well. Thanks for having me.
Hey, listen, no problem. It's always a welcome to have you on here. You're becoming quite a regular, so thanks so much for that. But listen, Myke, I don't want to tie you up too much today, but let's dive into it. Maybe you can provide our investors with a little bit of insight as to some of the details and the finer points of the $5.7 million raise that you recently successfully completed, and perhaps maybe just a little bit about what the proceeds mean to the company here in the short term.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you mentioned, we announced it back on January 29th, closed it on the 18th of February, and raised just over 5.7 million. Originally went out to raise 5 million, and then there was an over allotment amount there that was filled as well. So there was a lot of demand in the marketplace for it. We work with Echelon Wealth Partners on this, who we've worked with in the past as well, and a great partner to get this done and done quickly. It was priced attractively, that's for sure, at 42 cents a unit with a 60-cent warrant. And so, I think that got things done quickly. But ultimately, the investors and the investment community, I think, that participated saw the upside in Solar Alliance specifically, but also in the solar industry in general. So, you look at what's happened to our share price. We continue to move in the right direction, which is nice. Well supported throughout the raise, and we got it closed very quickly. One of the fastest raises that I've been involved with, without a doubt. So I think it just goes to show you that there is quite a bit of interest there for stocks like Solar Alliance and have a defined business plan and have a roadmap to increase our growth significantly over the coming years. In terms of use of proceeds, general working capital definitely, but as a company that has to deploy cash and capital to build these projects out, it gives us a bit of a buffer to be able to do that and to go and chase bigger and bigger projects, which was really a key for us. So what this does is this unlocks a big portion of our pipeline that we had been developing, but really didn't have the opportunity to fulfill. Now we do. And so I think you'll see some pretty exciting announcements coming over, the coming months and through 2021, as we now have the capital and the ability to move these forward. The other piece that we'll be looking at later on this year as well is equity ownership in some of these projects. So owning and operating these systems so that we have that long-term recurring revenue. This raise allows us to do that on some smaller projects, and ultimately will set the stage for us to be able to do that in a much bigger way longer term.
Well, Myke, I remember the last time you being on, we talked very briefly about the Biden administration and what that meant to renewable energy, specifically the solar industry for you. And the fact that you were able to raise 5.7 million in such a fast time is really a testament to the appetite that now exists for companies such as yourself and participation. Could you maybe tell us a little bit more, expand a little bit more on the Biden administration itself and what this monumental shift means for you, or more specifically, how does this compare to 4 years ago, say when the Donald Trump era began?
Yeah, well, how it compares to 4 years ago is it's night and day. I mean, it's a 180-degree turn in terms of not just the view of renewables, but also some structures in place and some incentives in place. That this administration, I think, is going to move forward with. 4 years ago, there was a lot of trepidation in the marketplace, that's for sure, and tariffs were imposed on solar panels by the Trump administration. That really negatively impacted the industry. It never really slowed it because, I mean, the economics and the base economics of solar and renewables now are overtaking fossil fuels without a doubt. So I don't think it will ever be stopped now, regardless of administration. But it kind of slowed things. What you're seeing now with the Biden administration is you're seeing a massive and fundamental shift in terms of the approach to renewables and energy generation in the United States. And as goes the United States, obviously a lot goes the global economy in terms of where people are focused in terms of energy generation. And so we see that now. Biden has already introduced or tabled some legislation around extending tax credits and other items that will be beneficial for the renewables industry and for solar specifically. And for us as a company that is entirely based in terms of our operation and our sales in the United States, it's a huge win. And really, it is, as I said, it's a massive shift both for government but also for individuals. People are now talking about solar, they're talking about renewables in a way that they never talked about them before. 4 or 5 years ago, it used to be, well, solar's too expensive. Why would I want solar for my business or my home? Now people are asking, when can you install solar on my business or on my home? Because it just makes sense. You are generating, clean electricity at a cheaper price, and there's really a strong economic reasoning behind going solar for utilities, for commercial businesses, and for homeowners. And so you're seeing this big shift. Uh, and it's always interesting because for us in the industry, we think, we've been around forever. Solar's been around forever. But in terms of actual market penetration, it's quite small. So very few homes and very few businesses actually have solar. The opportunity is essentially limitless. I mean, it is a massive opportunity still in the United States, and we're going to see it continue to grow over the course of the next 4 years in this Biden administration. What that looks like in terms of the stock market, always hard to say. It's impossible to predict which way the market's going to go generally, but in terms of the industry and the fundamentals that Solar Alliance has been built on, we see incredible growth over the next 4 years supported by the Biden administration. So we're extremely excited. And I think ultimately, regardless of what the market does, it will be recognized in the marketplace for our growth and for a sustainable business plan that provides clean, renewable electricity to people at a cheaper cost. I mean, there's always a market for that, and there's always room for growth in that marketplace. And the Biden administration really just kind of supercharges that for companies like Solar Alliance.
Well, Myke, thanks again for being here and bringing us up to speed on everything that's happening with Solar Alliance. And judging by what you've had to say today, there's going to be some great things coming down for the next few quarters. So we look forward to having you back again real soon and talking to us again about the progression of Solar Alliance. Thanks again, Myke.
Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate it. It's going to be exciting 2021 for sure.
Absolutely. We'll see you again real soon.